Welcome, Earthlings, to the Wreak Havoc Film Buffs podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sellers, along with my dinosaur co-host.
Oh, no, it's a Chewbacca. My bad. Sammie Castle.
We're
I
here.
got morning radio voice.
Yeah, we're here for the first time in months, and actually the first time in person since before the pandemic started, I guess. So yeah. Now that it's all over,
As I start coughing.
We're here today to talk about Jurassic Park, one of the biggest films of all time, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. Sammie, what's new?
We're all suffering from a weird time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been interesting. My business, all my businesses have been closed for pretty much 5 months now. I got a couple of little street places that were open, kind of get a little money going in.
Yeah.
So I was out of work for a month. She left the house once in that month.
Wow.
And
tough.
that was only because I locked myself out of the building. So she came over and dropped the keys off, and it's a weird time.
It is.
Everybody has kind of, or most everybody's kind of picked up something that they're doing while this is going on. Whether it's, I hear a lot of cooking stuff, and which I thought about a cooking class, but most of the cooking classes were canceled, and so Chad, Zach, and I have been taking improv classes.
Yeah.
The past 2 months or so.
How's that been?
Fun. I mean, it's we took the improv 101s twice. Chad picked it up halfway through the first go around, so she didn't have enough people to offer a 201 class, so she just did a 101 again, and Chad started at the beginning. We thought Morgan was going to join us because she's home for a couple months, and she decided not to. She chickened out.
So we're talking about the idiot box?
Okay.
Yeah.
And she does it. I mean, you get there and all the tables are spread out. We actually have 3 chairs around our table now.
Yeah.
We just get there and it's all set up for us. Everybody has to wear a mask. There's no more than 10 people in the building, so she's trying to do it right. She hates those masks.
I was about to say, it's hard to do comedy when you can't see somebody's face, and
it's
having to spread out.
It's difficult, and especially as expressive as I tend to be. But I've learned. It's funny when we sat down the first day, she was like, "Okay, why are y'all here?" And she went around the room, and she got to me, and I went, "I'm a filmmaker." And I said, and we're getting ready to do a film that may involve some improv with Boogeyman. And I said, so I figured I could learn something, and I'm bored. So then she went around the room. She said, all right, has everybody done improv? And there was people there who had taken the classes for, and there was a couple people who had done improv. And she gets to me, and I was like, shit, I've lived this. I've done improv all my life and just didn't know it.
Made a movie with you. We improv the whole time.
Yeah, we improv all the time. So it's been a blast. I tend, even though we make horror, we do tend to do a lot of horror comedy, and I'm probably better suited for comedy than I am horror, even though I'm scary looking.
You're scaring me right now.
So and I've learned a lot of stuff,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, just acting in general. I'm sure a lot of the things you've learned you can build on and use, and just even if it's not improv, it's still a lot of training.
So I think
I
think we're going to do. She's going to start. There's 5-week courses. We're in the 3rd week, or we're going into the 4th week next Monday. I think Zach and I are going to take the 201. She's going to have enough for a 201.
Very cool.
And I think we're going to take it. I don't know if Chad is not. He's trying to decide. He's waiting on how Sean's schooling is going to line up, because it's going to be odd for him. But it's Chad. It's so funny to watch.
I'm sure he's a funny guy just in general.
He's hilarious. But the weird part is we actually had a singing thing.
Yeah.
As you snot, I'll bring you some tissues.
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. We had a singing thing, and he's an amazing singer. But she was like, there's always somebody in the class that's a really good singer and outshines everybody else. I went in the middle and sang like 3 different songs. Not a whole song, but the idea is somebody steps in and sings, and as soon as you get an idea from them, you step in and shoot into another song. He never got in the middle and sang, and I was like, dude, you would have blown all of us away. And he's, it's Chad. He's like, this is more about him getting out there and working on stage confidence.
Probably having fun too. And,
He says having a blast.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's one of those people I can't be around him without just laughing within a few seconds.
Yeah.
He'll even say, I'm not doing anything funny, Dan. I said, I don't care. You're just funny. It just made me laugh.
Well, I took the script for the commercial to Jenny or sent it to her, and I said, Zach says we need to beef it up. It's so funny. Now he's gotten really defensive about it because Jenny's like, I kind of liked it. I don't know why it needs beefed up. And Zach's like, well, I thought it needed to be funnier or scarier. And Jenny's like, I think it's funny,
It just has to get our point across. That's all I care.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a joke setup.
So I think we've decided we're going to put Chad in the ticket booth like it was last year.
Cool.
So Lily's going to think he's going to turn, and then he doesn't
and
turn.
He doesn't, yeah.
And then Jesse's going to work the snack bar counter. She wasn't doing that last year. I was, but she was with her. So she's already turned. So Lily's going to get scared, and then she doesn't turn. Okay. And then we do the big reveal at the end. But Jenny's like, well, if you want to make it funny, just give Chad like a eye patch and a hook working the front counter. She said, because that shit would be funny. You think it's just going to be, and then he's turn around and do some weird voice. So we thought about giving him a hook hand and a Quasimodo voice.
Fine.
That works. That's. I mean, she's a comedy specialist, so she just kept going. It was funny because she didn't know the whole context of it. So I just sent her the script, and I said, we need to beef it up a little bit. So we go up to the window that she's sitting at when we all first get there. And I said, what'd you think about the script? She said, Zach walked up and she was like, I thought it was fine. Who thinks it needs beefing up?
That's great.
And Zach's like, I just thought it was kind of, and it needed a little punch.
And I don't disagree with Zach, but we literally put about 30 minutes of effort into this thing. Yeah. My feeling about the commercial. But in case you're playing catch up here, we're talking about the latest commercial for this year's Wreak Havoc Horror Film Festival, which is slated for 18th and 19th.
My birthday.
Yeah, it was a big one too.
Film festival. Oh God, it is. Jesus Christ!
Sammie turns 30.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Ashley turns 30, my oldest daughter.
Really?
Yeah, Ashley's 30.
Oh, my Lord. So, that'll be at Marketplace Cinemas this September 18th and 19th. So, and we hope to have a commercial ready just here in a few weeks. So, or maybe less. We'll see.
We hope to have a convention. I mean, a
festival. Yeah. We as Sammie said earlier, the pandemic has kind of put a hold on a lot of things for us. We did have a couple other films in pre-production, and those just gone away basically, or they're just on hold. So we still hope we have plans for a feature film coming up as soon as we can find some funding for it and find a way to make it. And Carolina Haynes is coming back in September. Should be the 18th as well, the same day of the film festival. We'll be coming back with season 4. And
podcasting is easier. That kind of podcasting is easier during the pandemic.
I can do it at home, and Jeff does his part at home. I do my part at home, and we put it out there. And
even though the two of y'all have not missed any days of work because of this.
No.
It made more sense for me to work on it as I sat around twiddling my thumbs going, I'm bored.
hopefully we'll have some news to announce here soon about the Carolina Haynes book, which, me and Sammie know stuff, but we can't say it right now. We want to make sure we're good to go.
It's a secret.
So, we do have things in the works. They're just, this year has been a little bit slower than usual. So,
poor Jason trying to start a movie,
yeah.
world premiere of a movie, and a feature, pretty big independent feature in the middle of a freaking pandemic. It's been a nightmare. It's
bad timing. Yeah, this. I was just thinking, we live in such a polarized nation right now. Everyone seems to be at odds, but I think everyone in this country can agree that we're sick of this and we're ready to get back to normal. We need some normalcy in this,
it don't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
No, it doesn't. But
my business will open sometime right around Christmas if Cooper keeps his stuff up.
Yeah, so hopefully at least with this company, we'll find something we can some sort of normalcy. I'm hoping we can get back to podcasting more regularly. I don't like waiting several months in between episodes, but I've been very busy in personal life, not even outside of this stuff. But I've recently had a third child.
Yes,
my son Charles.
Welcome, Charlie.
Yeah, third and final.
And we know that for sure.
So it's difficult to do a lot of outside extracurricular stuff when there's so much in the world and so much just personally going on. So hopefully this will be the first of many new episodes that are closer together and not so spread out in between.
Baby making is hard work.
It is hard work. Baby rearing is even harder. So. But anyways, let's get into our movie. We're talking about a film that was one of the biggest, or was the biggest film in the world at the time. And I love this opening. This ominous tone it strikes right off the bat.
Amblin. Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still making movies.
There for a while they were like the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, not every film Steven Spielberg makes is an Amblin film, but a lot of Amblin films are either produced or directed by Spielberg.
Yeah. I prepared for this movie, but not watching it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
Or doing any research.
This is one of those films I've seen so many times. I pretty much have it memorized.
Don't
but
we all?
I did find so much trivia and information and research about it. I bet you I got through a quarter of what all I could find. I didn't have the time to really dive into it like we normally do. But I remember seeing this movie as a kid and loving it. And
as a kid,
yeah, I was 8.
That gives a whole different perspective of this, because stereotype or not, most boys love dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah.
So I grew up on Land of the Lost, Day the Earth Stood Still, the Land That Time Forgot. Yeah. All those dinosaur movies,
which is kind of ruined if you come to those after this. As a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go watch Land of the Lost after, which I did. You watch Sci-Fi Network reruns and stuff. You just have to. It's like everything. You have to appreciate the context of when it came out.
Although the Harryhausen stuff is always still pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially if you appreciate that art. But yeah, I was in my early 20s when this movie came out.
Yeah.
So it lies in a little probably different place in my.
This guy's got the shittiest job in Jurassic Park. Has to open the door.
Yeah.
This is a great way to introduce the film, because it gives you no context whatsoever. You just see all these guys wearing hard hats that say Jurassic Park. And you hear this monster, you don't even see it, but you see what it's doing. You get a glimpse of its eye, and it's obviously very dangerous because this poor worker is getting killed. Kind of like Jaws.
Yeah.
There's a lot of connections between this film and Jaws. Jaws opens the same way.
Yeah.
With a death.
Yeah.
It's a good way to set up the
Is that you think that's a Spielberg trait now? That
I don't know that it's a trait, but I think it's certainly something he, you know what I mean? I'm sure that's something he probably wanted for this film, and it's a good way to do it.
Then you're almost into a fish out of water thing here with the
with the lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer in the middle of the jungle, and he's dressed like a lawyer in the middle of a jungle, and it's
he's carrying a briefcase.
Yeah.
Which, my first thought is, if you actually want this place to be a tourist attraction that brings people from all over the world, you got to have a better way for them to get to the place.
Well, I mean,
I guess this is the mines where they're finding the.
Yeah.
We'll skip ahead a little bit.
And if you're gonna do, if you're gonna make this a real deal, then you've got to have a place where they're secure, and we're more secure than an island, as Dr. Malcolm says later, and as we can tell from the movies that chaos ensues regardless.
Nature finds a way.
Yeah, the great Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Who I don't know. He is so perfectly cast as this because he sounds like a doctor. He talks like a doctor or like a scientist. Yeah.
He's very believable in that role.
Yeah,
and he's also a leading man, and you believe him as being a kind of a action adventure hero as well.
Very Indiana Jones type, but more doctor side than adventure side. Like Harrison Ford was more adventure side. Yeah. Sam Neill's like, I'm not super adventure, but I like going up and digging up stuff.
Yeah. He, speaking of Indiana Jones, the only bit of alternate casting I could find for this film was Harrison Ford was offered the role of Dr. Grant.
Oh, really?
And turned it down because he just didn't feel like he was right for it, and he's maintained that, having seen the film, he still thinks that he's a better choice for the role than he would have been. Yeah. Which I actually agree. I love Harrison Ford, and he would have been great. Yeah. It would have been a different film. Yeah.
He'd been more the modern day Chris Pine, who did Jurassic World. Yeah.
Or Chris Pratt.
Pratt, sorry.
Yeah. There's too many Chris's right now.
Whichever one. One of the P Chris's. P Chris's.
I did find not so much alternate casting, but so many alternate filmmakers who were attached to this film or who wanted to do this film, and we'll get more into that later. That's really interesting. There, some of the choices that could have been made.
But yeah, this is. I remember when this came out. I saw it in the theater, and then of course subsequently on VHS. But this is one of those movies that you didn't realize was a book. So when the movie came out, I immediately went and bought the book.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody did. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I still have that copy.
Yeah.
Here somewhere. And Crichton is his writing is great. It's odd that he doesn't stick to kind of one genre. He's a little bit of a science guy.
He's all over the place.
But he's all over the place with stuff.
Science fiction, a lot of science fiction, but kind of feels like Dan Brown.
Adventure,
similar, yeah.
I think he's a modern. Well, he was a modern day throwback to adventure serial kind of stuff.
But he infused a lot of science and technology and stuff like that in his writing and found a way to distill it down. Like I read that Michael Crichton had the idea for this like 10 years before, but just didn't understand the science enough about how you could actually take genes and reproduce it and all that. And that part is based on reality. That's something that they still try and do now. I think they could technically
Did you not
do
see
this.
There
now.
was a news story 2 weeks ago that they could take a chicken embryo and make a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
no, that's terrifying.
Yes, because with everything else going on in 2020, now the big thing is when the new month happens. Did anybody have Tyrannosaurus Rex DNA on their August bingo card?
Yeah.
Or UFOs, since we're now 3 times since the pandemic,
Well,
the U.S. has went, hey,
Yeah.
y'all know that
This
we
is gonna
really
be the
have
apocalypse.
UFOs, right? And everybody's going, yeah, but that guy over there not wearing a mask is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
They've acknowledged real UFOs 3 times in the past 3 months, and people just keep ignoring it. And it keeps getting worse. Like one of the stories was, they've actually been scanning our military sites. Well, why would? Okay, are we headed to Independence Day? Speaking of Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah. We just throw a lot of information at it.
yes,
my head is like,
like ooh, science,
science.
So, Sam. So, I mean, these are all established stars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough. I mean, they're all known.
Yeah.
I mean, Spielberg, so of course he's going to go. I can hire whoever the hell.
That's true. I mean,
want to.
people don't really turn him down very often. I guess unless you're Harrison Ford. But Richard Attenborough had not acted for like over 10 years before doing this film, and he's better known as a director. And he actually beat Spielberg for the best directing Oscar back in '82 for Gandhi.
Oh, really?
I think when he was up for E.T.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, but he actually delayed filming of this several weeks to accommodate him because he was wrapping up Chaplin with Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
And but I guess he really saw him in that role and wanted him to do it.
God, so many iconic images have come from this movie.
Yeah.
This is, you don't really think about when you look at movie cars. Mm-hmm. You see mystery vans and Ecto-1s and the DeLoreans, but the Jeep from Jurassic Park has become a thing.
Oh yeah.
On the convention circuit, there's a couple people with Jurassic Park Jeeps.
Oh yeah.
That are exact, and as a Jeep guy,
I think they could have sold these back then and done well.
Oh God, yeah. Lord, yes. As tacky, because they're kind of tacky with all the red top and everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Almost every animal is attracted to red, so you would figure by default a dinosaur would be too.
I guess it's just like the reason why hunters wear the bright. If something happened to the vehicles, it'd be easier to spot it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a movie.
This scene right here where everybody gets to see the dinosaur for the first time.
Yeah.
Is just amazing. I mean, it sends chill bumps to me now.
Yeah.
Because nobody's seen these kind of effects. They're acting and seeing a dinosaur for the first time, but we as an audience are seeing non-stop animation, non-terrible graphics, real good CGI.
That holds up too.
Yes.
It's movie's almost 30 years old now, and this holds up.
And it won all sorts of technical Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Well, one thing this film does brilliantly, and this is again Spielberg, I think, learning from Jaws. There's a good blend of practical dinosaur effects where they have like an actual built T-Rex and a blend of computer generated, because this was still pretty early on for computer generated effects. You had major films like T2 is a big computer effects movie, and then this and a couple others, but was his reaction. This place is going to make a fortune.
T-Rex.
What?
And as paleontologists, you know they've just got to be
Yeah.
Jones and
Yeah.
I kind of wish Morgan was here. I'd be curious to see. I don't know what got her into archaeology and that kind of. And I wonder if this had a look, because she was 3 when this came out. So I mean, she saw it at a young age. I wonder if it actually had any effect. She was never a big dinosaur person, but I mean, maybe it's later in life it's had an effect on her. I don't know.
Archaeologists in movies like this, they tend to get into situations they regret, This is a prime example. And he says I think Sam Neill's in the 3rd movie, he's like, I'll never go back to Jurassic Park, no matter what happens. Never.
They should bring him back.
They are.
They are really in the next one.
Yeah, so let's bring it up real quick. The Jurassic Park series. We have this one in '93, The Lost World in '97, which is based on another Michael Crichton book. Jurassic Park 3 in 2001, directed by Joe Johnston, which is not probably the my least favorite of all of the Jurassic Park films.
Yeah,
or maybe not the least, but then a big gap, and then 2015 you have Jurassic World, kind of a reboot, which
took everybody off guard.
Yeah, and became the highest grossing film of all time. And in 2018 you had the sequel, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, which that might be my least favorite. I don't know. I've seen it one time in theaters. I probably should watch it again.
Again, I just watched it for the first time last night. Is that 2018 really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's got some scary moments in it that I like that. I like some of the creepy moments. If we're going to do something, if we're going to make more sequels, let's try to go in different directions a little bit.
Besides just introducing new dinosaurs. I mean, they every one since the second one, they've done or did the second one, did they have a hybrid dinosaur?
I don't know. I think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But these films have always been scary.
At first, they just tried to introduce new dinosaurs. I think that was like the 2 was the T-Rex against the other big dinosaur that was actually bigger than a T-Rex, or was that 3?
I don't even remember.
I can't remember. But anyway.
So they've got a new one coming out next year called Jurassic World Dominion that will not only star Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard and those people, but it will also star Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and even B.D. Wong from this film is back in it.
Well, B.D. Wong was in the
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
They kind of turned him into the villain.
Yeah. He went from being scientist guy to villain guy.
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting little turn. So I'm sure the pandemic has hurt that production schedule. So 2021 may end up being like 2022, but the director of Jurassic World, Colin Trevorrow, is back directing it. So I don't know, maybe it'll be back on schedule and we'll have a good Jurassic Park movie here pretty soon. So
I mean, it's maybe a forgotten, when you start talking series of movies. You think of Bond and you think of Star Wars and you think of the Marvel stuff, and Jurassic Park's kind of the forgotten series for whatever reason. But I mean, it's got to be one of the highest grossing series of all time. Let me look that up.
It starts off so strong. It's kind of like Jaws. You know what I mean? You technically have a series of Jaws films, but no one gives a shit about those other films. You have Jaws.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? You technically do have a series, but
I can look that up. Let me see if I can find that information. God, I ain't been on Box Office Mojo in years. Well, maybe not that long, but
Probably since the last time we podcasted. Feels like years.
I don't ever look at Box Office Mojo because most of that stuff's on IMDb. This little cartoon is great. It's a very dumbed down way to explain to everyone how this happens.
It's smart because it in just a few minutes of entertaining, of entertaining exposition, it gives a lot of information. It sells you on the idea that this could happen, and it just moves on. Just puts it aside. You get past the idea of, can this really happen?
Oh Lord! Just as a real sidebar, I pulled up Box Office Mojo, and it gives the release schedule for the next. Which I didn't realize there was any movies coming out, but there's a bunch of limited movies coming out.
Limited, yeah.
One wide release, but there is a movie coming out July 31st called Killer Raccoons 2.
Damn it! I missed Killer Raccoons.
I know.
The first
How
one.
the hell did I miss the first one? Jurassic Park. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11th highest grossing film franchise. Behind
adjusted for inflation.
No, just total. But it's only 8 movies too. It's the lowest. So you got Marvel.
So you're looking at the series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the first one. But
Oh no, I'll
as
look
a
that
series,
up in a
it's
series.
So you got
is
like
8.
Marvel movies first.
So you got
and
Marvel
Star Wars.
first, Star Wars, Disney live action,
Sure, Harry Potter's in there
Harry
somewhere.
Potter, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman.
Wow.
Harry Potter's Wizarding World. J.K. So and they've got it's actually higher than that because it's got 2 Harry Potters.
Yeah.
DC Extended Universe only has 8 films and it's $2.1 billion. James Bond with 25 films at $2.1 billion, and Jurassic Park at $1.8 billion.
What's crazy about that? Well, no, that doesn't sound right because Jurassic Park and Jurassic World both made $1 billion each, but the other sequels have not done well.
No, that's international. This is just domestic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jurassic World made $1 billion at the box office. Well, so did Jurassic Park.
All-time domestic. Jurassic World is now the 7th highest movie. It broke all sorts of weekend records and stuff like that. They didn't.
I want to say, I can't remember off the top of my head, I want to say it beat T2 for highest grossing, and then it was beat by Titanic several years later. 4 years later, 5 years later.
Are you talking about Jurassic Park?
Yeah, Jurassic Park, yeah.
Yeah.
As highest grossing film.
You just haven't adjusted. I don't see it now.
So this is an interesting little. I'm gonna pause it here just to make my point. You see Dr. Malcolm and John Hammond standing side by side, and these two characters are fascinating because they basically present the two dynamic philosophies in this film. Mm-hmm. They're at odds with each other on a philosophical level, and one subtle thing maybe not so subtle actually thing that they've done in the costuming is they've dressed them in the exact opposite. So, and you can see it here in them, they stand side by side. Yeah. One's dressed in all black, one's dressed in all white, and they represent the two the two sides of this coin of this scientific discovery. We should be doing these things, and then nature finds a way. Mm-hmm. You were more concerned about whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think whether or not you should. These two philosophies that are really come to clash in this film.
Here's the adjusted. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is 18th, adjusted $859 million.
Wow.
Jurassic World is 30th.
Adjusted 30th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because 3 years now, it's Gone with the Wind is probably always will be the highest of all time adjusted.
Yeah.
New Hope's pretty close. So.
I bet. Well, and due to the re-release or multiple re-releases of Jurassic Park over the years, they've even put it out in 3D a couple of years ago.
Oh, did they really?
Theaters. Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
I think I went and saw it. But hell, recently this Jurassic Park was the top grossing film just because they released it in drive-ins and played it at Marketplace and several other places.
Yep.
So it's funny how a film like this keeps having a life to it. Not even in sequels, but just in.
But again, it's weird that it's that it seems to be the under the radar franchise. To me anyway, that it just I don't think anybody equates a franchise with Jurassic Park. Maybe because it's broken into two different. I don't know. But Harry Potter's the same, or Lord of the Rings is the same way.
I think it's just because this film just overshadows the sequels so much because this film is so good, so big. Yes. The other ones are just kind of like
And there was a pretty good sized gap in there too between Jurassic.
It's like 14 years.
Jurassic 3 and Jurassic World.
When I watch,
which come out of the blue.
Yeah, when I watch Jurassic or Lost World or the third one, I'm just sit there and go, man, I just want to watch the first one. Why am I watching this?
Well, the second one is the third
had some
the
cool
third one
moments.
is the one they brought Laura Dern and Sam Neill back the first time, right? With the little boy, or is that 2?
I think she just has a cameo in it, and it's mainly Sam Neill's star, and Jeff Goldblum's the star of the second movie. And I thought the second movie was pretty good. It got pretty dark, and it was pretty cool that when the dinosaurs started storming San Diego.
Yeah,
that was neat. But if I'm not
those kids involved, I would love to have a cane like that though.
Yeah, I know. I think I can't remember what film it was, but I think Spielberg made a deal with Universal to make The Lost World if they would let him make some other movie he wanted to make. I think maybe Saving Private Ryan or something. I don't know what it was, but or he did it to get out of a contract, I think.
Yeah,
because there's you got to make one more film. He's like, all right, fine, I'll do the next Jurassic Park. But this film,
again, he's a boy. He probably liked dinosaurs too.
Yeah. This film, Spielberg has a really interesting connection with it because he was in the middle of adapting another Michael Crichton property into ER, the TV show ER, which is based on Crichton.
Yeah.
That was going to be a Spielberg movie in the early 90s. Not a show, a movie. And he was in the middle of pre-production on ER when the rights for this movie came open. And his people were like, well, you should check out this other Michael Crichton property. He didn't know anything about it. And so he jumped on it. And Universal allowed him to make Schindler's List if he would make this first. It's the only way that he would let him. They would finance, that
made sense.
Expensive drama.
That's not going to make as much. They figure as this dinosaur movie.
Yeah, but
because dinosaur movies historically have done well. In theatrical releases, and from Godzilla at Toho to the monster movies of the 50s up through the 70s and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So dinosaur movies this was a pretty sure bet. Plus, it's a really good book.
Oh yeah. Well, the book was published in 1990, and before the book was published, they already sold the rights, or they had put the rights out there to make the film. So they were making the film, and the book was being published simultaneously.
Yeah,
that's how much they believed in this. Idea. That's saying a lot. And Michael Crichton was he was a pretty big name writer, but this really put him, like you said, over the top as far as like book sales.
Sam Jackson wasn't very well known.
No, not in 1993. the following year he'd do Pulp Fiction and really become a household name. But he'd been in a lot of films, but he was he is here, a secondary character.
It's funny that probably when this movie came out, that Wayne Knight was probably a bigger star than him. And that's funny.
Because everybody looked at him and went, Newman.
Yeah.
Hello, Newman.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I saw a thing pop up the other day about the kids, how they had grown up.
I don't know if she does any acting, but he still acts in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had auditioned to play Robin Williams' son in Hook, and that's how he got in with Spielberg. But he was too young for Hook, but he was right age for this.
I wonder if this is that door is kind of an homage to the Kong.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense because you're gonna have to have a big, tall thing to keep up.
keep the dinosaurs.
Keep the dinosaurs in.
One of the earliest carnivores, we now know Dilophosaurus is actually poisonous, spitting into that.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit just for time.
Can't find them. You gotta hit the Triceratops shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can YouTube a video real quick.
Is this the beginning of Jeff Goldblum becoming Goldblum?
I don't know.
Because there's some very Goldblum, like when he walks by Sam Neill and does the finger thing, that he raises up the side of his head and he's like, "Now, doctor," it's like a very Goldblum thing to do.
Maybe it is the first of him really having this eccentric personality, but he's been in a lot of movies before this, and
but The Fly, he wasn't really that.
Well, as the movie progressed, he got creepier.
Well, that's
and weirder,
true. He got creepier and weirder, but
maybe not eccentric.
A caricature of himself, which he has become now.
He has very much become that.
They just cast him as Goldblum and put something weird on him.
You ever seen this? This is so stupid. I don't know why I like this.
A Goldblum laugh remix.
It's just like 3 minutes of this remix of him laughing. Okay.
Jesus Christ, people got too much time on our hands.
You get the point.
I just don't understand. I am so busy with life.
Yeah.
I would never even think about sitting down to go, hey.
But thank God somebody did.
Hey, let's do this scene from Jurassic Park and do a entire
Jeff Goldblum, friend of the show.
yes, frequent calling.
Thanks for calling in. Maybe. And Laura Dern, her career has had a lot of peaks and valleys over the years. She's in a peak right now. She just won an Oscar last year for Little Women, and she's been in quite a few movies recently. Even the new Star Wars, or one of the new Star Wars movies, had a big role in that.
The last one? Or the last two? I think she had a brief cameo in...
No, she was in the middle. She had a big role in the middle movie. She had that big sacrifice move.
Yeah. Was that in the middle one? Okay.
Last Jedi.
When the T-Rex attacks him, it is so great.
Yeah. Well, let's find that scene. In the book, I think when he's attacked, he literally just runs away. Malcolm just runs away like a coward. But in the movie, Goldblum had the idea to make him have a little bit more of a heroic turn and try to help the children. And I think that was a good move because it makes his character, I don't know, more interesting, I think. Oh, here we have Wayne Knight, the industrial spy.
Yeah. It kind of that. For some reason, we just watched the scene where the gates or the fences start going down.
Yeah.
And everybody seems weirdly calm. And Sam Jackson just kind of turns around and goes, "Huh, that's odd."
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, they're inside. You know, I mean, they ain't got nothing to worry about. They're not in the middle of the shit.
well, and they're not on an island, so I guess they don't figure that.
He's smoking in like every scene of this that he's in. He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Which is, you know, that would make this film rated R nowadays.
Oh, I know. I was watching Netflix the other day, and Dark. I think I was watching Dark, and every episode it come up at the top. It was like violence, nudity, smoking. And I went, "What? That's a thing now?"
I still like to go into restaurants and just be a smartass and ask for non-smoking, please. And my kids are like, "What does that mean, Dad?" I'm like, "You're too." And the waitresses are too young too. They don't get it. Yeah. I should just stop being a smartass at restaurants.
Oh, why? Well, they didn't smoke that thing down the mud, man. They're gonna burn you. You didn't say the magic word. You didn't say the magic word. Ha ha ha.
You know, it's taken every ounce of restraint he has not to call him a motherfucker.
Yeah. And they have the worst hunters. All these guys get killed. They think they're badass freaking big game hunters, and they cower at every dinosaur.
Well, I think that's the point. Even a badass is no match for a T-Rex or a Velociraptor. You know,
how lucky is it for them that they stopped right in front of the T-Rex paddock?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I didn't ask. Why wouldn't they be? Kids get scared. I was supposed to scare. I should go like up in the power. I didn't say you were scared.
I didn't say I was scared. He looks terrified. Oh, this lawyer. This is so great.
Worst death ever.
All right, let me see if I can find something too that fits into this.
Porta potty death. I had, as a kid, I had all sorts of dinosaurs and the rubber stuff and.
Mm-hmm.
That's a group one because all mine went off at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got tagged in a frightening film fiasco post.
So now we're getting a good look at the T-Rex for the first time.
I wonder how much it annoys Brett that I keep getting tagged in this stuff for frightening film, and it's like Lene Quigley, Jenna Cannell, Debbie Rochon, Tiffany Shepard, Lisa Wilcox, Tristan Risk, and Sammy Castle. I'm like, Brett's probably going, I put him in a cameo.
Sons of bitches.
I don't know, it's Brett. He's probably laughing. He's like, that damn Sammy.
So I think when you see the dinosaur this up close, this is the real animatronic dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which, if you go to the damn Jurassic Park ride in Orlando, is pretty much what you see. It's scary as hell.
Yep. Yes, it is.
That was, to me at least, I rode pretty much everything I could ride. That was the best ride they had there.
I think they're working on a new Jurassic World.
No, I think they did.
I think they're working on it. It's almost done.
I've only been one time, and their Jurassic Park water ride was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Especially right when you go down at the end and the T-Rex head comes out. Yeah.
It's a good ride. And I mean, for kids, this is borderline horror.
This is terrifying. Yeah,
Like sci-fi horror, kind of aliens-esque.
Put this scene up to anything in Jaws.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. These children don't get a break here.
And it's always some kind of plastic protecting them.
Yeah, something flimsy. Christ.
Let's bite the tires. Because all animals like playing with round things. Look, a ball. Well, okay. You get into Jurassic World. How stupid was it to put everybody in balls? You know, animals are like, a ball, let's knock it around some.
Yeah.
There was a car crushing scene in the Fallen Kingdom one, too.
Yeah.
The bad guy at the end.
Uh-oh. He's like, I didn't think this through.
Fetch! Get him, Fido! Listening to the dinosaur guy. Get killed on the shitter.
Oh, this is great.
Well, he's got shorts on.
Oh. I can't think of too many worse ways to die than to be eaten alive.
Burning.
Yeah.
Acid.
You know, it'd be terrible to be like swallowed whole by like a snake or something and dissolve in stomach acid. Okay, so a couple of years ago, Jimmy Kimmel did this really funny thing. I'm going to try to skip through it a little bit.
Okay.
He did a Lifetime Achievement Award
For
the toilet guy from Jurassic Park.
Every actor who works, not just actors and the crew, work with him. He's very receptive to ideas. It's just been a breeze working with him.
De Niro,
He's just
Spielberg.
like this incredibly creative vessel that just wants to figure it out in a more original way.
His
I
thirst.
feel like you're talking about Scorsese instead of
Constantly trying to
this guy.
himself, and push the boundaries. He's, the man is a dynamo. He's amazing.
He's very special. You just look at the.
Liam Neeson has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's almost like most of the time, plot is irrelevant to him. He's trying to capture something in human behavior.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present this Lifetime Achievement Award to the guy who got eaten off the toilet in Jurassic Park. Martin Ferrero. Martin, come on.
And the statue is of a dinosaur with the legs hanging out of the mouth.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Hovering over a toilet. It looks pretty
funny.
old.
Thank you. As an actor, being able
Kimmel.
one day. I just never dreamt that it would eventually turn out the way it did. Thank you, Stephen. And that mad genius, Stan Winston, his team, and Santa Flo.
Santa Flo.
Who make the most amazing, comfortable toilets. And to the kids out there, the dreamers, know that if you
They're really going for this joke.
Yes.
never give up, someday you too can get eaten off a toilet seat.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Hey, should be acknowledged.
Do you want to pause it?
Huh? No.
Okay. All right. So this is pretty scary. This is when you kind of get this idea that the T-Rex probably can't see too well, but it sees movement well and smells and all that. Because Dr. Grant tells them, don't move. It can see you better if you move. I guess its eyes are on the side of its head, so looking straight on is probably not so good.
Well, it's we went horseback riding a couple weekends ago, and I've been horseback riding before, but it's the first time I'd ever had anybody do this. Was Greg had us get with our horse and literally put our mouth up on their nostril.
Oh, wow.
So they could get our scent and talk to them.
Oh, wow.
For like a minute or two. And just get right in their nostrils so they could get their scent on your scent on them. So I mean, and their eyes on kind of the side of their head, so it would kind of make sense. A lot of those animals would adapt to work with smell.
Yeah.
And it's wild to see. We start off with a big action deal, then we get a lot of science and a lot of technology and a lot of exposition and a lot of explaining, what's going on, and Marvel, because again, it's the first time we're seeing CGI dinosaurs on screen and how good they look. And I mean, with the combination with the practical effects, but we're seeing dinosaurs on screen.
Yeah.
That look real. Then we get into an action movie. I mean, it ends once the T-Rex is introduced.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, this fits one of those kind of movies where it's a little bit of sci-fi, it's a little bit of action, it's a little bit of drama. It's it doesn't really fit into a genre. Adventure.
They
need to just give adventure.
It's got a lot of horror elements though, and a lot of sci-fi, and there's a lot going on here.
Well, I mean, anytime you clone a dinosaur, there's got to be some sci-fi going on.
But like we said, it's probably more based in reality, more in science than science fiction now.
I need to look at that article, see if I can find it.
One thing that's funny that they were criticized a little bit for in this film were the velociraptors, because in reality the velociraptor was about the size of a chicken or a turkey or something. It was not very big,
like the little small ones that you see running around a lot.
Yeah, and this is a great scene.
Oh, with the T-Rex following the Jeep. Yes.
So this is the computer generated T-Rex, and initially Spielberg shot this and didn't want you to actually see the T-Rex. He wanted you to hear it, see the trees move, thought it'd be scarier that way. But once they showed him how they could do it,
he was back to Jaws.
Yeah,
show less.
Well, I think maybe he thought, we can't make this look great by computers, and they were like, no, we can. Here, watch this, and they showed him, they proved to him that it could be done. Must go faster. I love the objects in the mirror closer than they appear.
God, there's all sorts of new news about dinosaurs.
Oh, I interrupted myself and I forgot what. Yeah, it's just like any other science. It's always, we're learning more and more the more they work on it. But 2 weeks before this film opened, they actually found a size about the same approximate size in the movie, Velociraptor. It has it's like a it has a different name than Velociraptor, but it's
Yeah.
essentially a Velociraptor of that size. That's so they were able to say that there is some reality to that.
In February, they found a Thanatoristus degradatorium, which is Greek for reaper of death. It's kin. It's a new dinosaur, and it's kin to a T-Rex.
That's awesome. See that's going to be in Dominion, I'm sure.
Probably.
Something that ominous sounding.
Pregnant T-Rex DNA was found.
Pregnant T-Rex DNA.
Yeah.
That's
a
awesome.
pregnant Tyrannosaurus Rex has been found, shedding light on the evolution of egg laying as well as on gender differences in the dinosaurs.
Wow.
Headline: Has dinosaur DNA been found, and could it make Jurassic Park possible?
Bingo. Dino DNA. Well, and the scientists can't say they haven't seen Jurassic Park. Everyone has seen it, you know what I mean? Especially if you're old enough to be a scientist. You've seen this cautionary tale. By God, you should know better.
Yeah, we filmed it. Spielberg's like, told y'all.
But we won't make those mistakes. We'll make our own new mistakes.
Oh, somebody did it. A Business Insider. They must be bored over there.
Yeah.
Just this month, July 10th, Jurassic Park got many on-screen dinosaurs wrong, experts say.
Well, there's still a big debate as to whether or not the dinosaurs look more like birds or they look more like reptiles. They don't know. I mean, they have more in common with birds, is what they think. But they don't know whether or not they're like covered in feathers or anything like that. But as you see them in the film,
about the Dilophosaurus.
they're more reptile-like.
Yeah. I guess the Dilophosaurus really didn't have the little fans that come out on the side. But that looks cool on screen.
It looks really cool. It's cool as hell in the ride, too, when it spits water at you. All right, so we're getting to see Samuel L. Jackson's last moment in Jurassic Park. Or his hand, I should say.
And what did we hear? Black man always dies. The only one in the movie, and he dies.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Michael Crichton. He had a very long career before Jurassic Park, and with books, almost all of his books have been adapted to film. Most recently, you've got Westworld, which was a book, then became a movie he directed in the 70s, starring Yul Brynner. And then it's been redone, and I haven't seen much of Westworld.
He makes a joke in the middle of all this.
I know.
That's kind of out of context.
This is a dad joke that I think
yeah.
most guys would probably do to mess with kids.
But still, I mean, they're trying to escape from a dinosaur, and he pulls this right in the middle of it. That's kind of... he's not a joking kind of guy. So I would see Malcolm doing it more than...
Yeah. This is a joke you would expect Sammie to make. You wouldn't expect the doctor
of the dinosaur guys. Totally be a Sammie joke. Walk up to an electric fence and go and act like I electrocuted myself.
All the trauma they've dealt with from this weekend, that kid's gonna be sitting in a psychiatrist's office one day going, and then he touched the fence.
Especially since he gets electrocuted later on that same fence. I didn't find that funny at all.
Oh, God. Okay, so Michael Crichton, he's made books, and what she said, we've been adapting films like The Andromeda Strain, The Great Train Robbery. Some other films, not quite as good, not really in the level, but like Congo, Sphere.
I love Congo.
Do you?
I like Congo.
Okay. Sphere, Rising Sun,
those
Disclosure,
kind of creepy zombie-looking apes at the end.
Yeah,
I like. Congo.
I thought it was kind of cheesy, but
I like some good cheese in my life.
And then some of his later books like Timeline and Airframe. I read a lot of those books in the 90s.
I didn't read many of those.
I remember I was the first person in my county to check out The Lost World from the library when it opened because I had it reserved for me when it came.
He wrote Twister.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah. He's got a lot of film and TV credits too. Like I said,
I've heard of this Battle of Big Rock. Battle at Big Rock.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, that's the first Jurassic Park short film.
Okay.
Have you not seen it?
No.
It's good.
Is it real?
It's really good. Yeah, Battle at Big Rock. Check that out, guys. It's only a few minutes long, but it's really well made. It's really scary. And
After this, I started reading a bunch of his books, but the newer stuff I didn't. 13th Warrior.
13th Warrior, yeah.
I forgot about that. I love that book. Eaters of the Dead.
Banderas, Eaters of the Dead.
I like the movie, but the book is amazing. Called Eaters of the Dead.
Let's see.
Disclosure was kind of a Rising Sun, he wrote.
Yeah, Rising Sun, Disclosure.
I like Rising Sun. Mm-hmm. Never heard of Looker.
Okay, so Battle of Big Rock is 10 minutes long, and it's basically this family that's on a camping trip in an RV, and it gets attacked by a dinosaur, and it's really scary.
Huh.
It's really, really well made. It looks like it was probably a scene from Dominion that got cut.
Okay.
Or a scene from Fallen Kingdom. One of those that probably just got cut out, and they said, we'll just release this because it's so good. Probably cut for time or something. Not because it sucked or anything, but... Or it may... Oh, this is great. Here's Sam Jackson's last moment in the film.
Yeah, with the raptor.
Oh my gosh, that's scary. So here in the last act of the film is some of the scariest moments where... Oh.
Just his arm.
Ah!
Yeah, I mean, again, it's got a lot of horror elements to it.
Yeah. So anyways, Michael Crichton sold the film rights to this book before the book was even published in 1990. So in 1989, film studios started prepping this movie before the book even came out because they thought it was going to be such a huge hit.
All right, I challenge you and Jeff to write something.
Jeff's on an idea right now he told me about that might be good. It might be this...
that gets sold and made into a movie right after the book.
Immediately, yeah.
That it's that good.
So what his people did, his agents or whoever, they allowed 6 movie studios to pitch for this film, and they had to have a director per studio. So Warner Brothers pitched Tim Burton, and he had a meeting with Tim Burton to discuss making this film.
Okay.
20th Century Fox, I think, picked Richard Donner.
Okay.
I can't remember. One of them picked Joe Dante.
Okay.
And obviously Universal picked Spielberg.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if to me, it's no... there's contest there.
Yeah, there's
Spielberg.
no contest. I mean, Dante could have done something, but I don't know that they would have given him the budget.
One of the studios, I don't know who it was, which studio, but James Cameron really wanted Jurassic Park.
And that would be...
But his version of Jurassic Park would have been much darker. He said he wanted to make basically aliens with dinosaurs. So it would have been a hard R film, very violent, very dark. And Universal ended up paying Michael Crichton $2 million for the rights, just to him personally, not even for the books and all that, but just to him personally to make the film. And so that shows an extraordinary amount of power given to the writer to be able to handpick the movie studio and the director and get $2 million. That's and the book's never even been seen. But before it was published, the Universal had copies of early drafts of the manuscript and was already trying to build sets and stuff based on what they thought was going to be in the final draft. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't even know this book is going to be big. They just assume it's going to be big.
Something we've not talked about. Once again, the great John Williams.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
The score of this movie is
iconic.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's perfect. You know, I mean, we were talking earlier about the being in awe and the grandeur of seeing these animals for the first time. He really captures that emotion,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
And the scary stuff too. I mean, there's a good blend of.
This has been turned into a meme 1,000 times too. The Jello,
the shaking
Jello. It's interesting to me the direction that they end up going in with the raptors and how they could be. They're so intelligent they could be trained. And now with Fallen Kingdom and this super raptor that they.
Well, they're almost like genetically bred to be even smarter in the further films.
Yeah.
This is scary shit.
And it's Blue's becoming as much of a main character as any of the regular human characters.
Yeah.
And probably will be in the next one. Since the last shot in Fallen Kingdom was her overlooking a city.
I did think Ian Malcolm's cameo in Fallen Kingdom was kind of pointless. Now, again, I've only seen it one time in theaters, but I don't recall it really being there other than just to put Goldblum in the trailers and say,
Yep.
look who's back in this film.
You're right.
But, maybe that got some people excited to go see it. I don't know, but because he's had a resurgence in his career right now.
Jurassic World Dominion 2021. Laura Dern's done a bunch. She has not quit working.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Of course, she's Laura Dern. So.
She's had a resurgence, and Jeff Goldblum's had a resurgence.
That's the Collector. Jesus.
Wasn't that great?
It's Goldblum. I mean, you just throw him up on the screen and go.
Oh, but he melts the guy. And he's like, "Oh, he's getting on my shoe."
Yeah. Started in the horror movies too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grizzly 2 wasn't even the first one.
And Sam Neill has consistently been in a lot of films since.
Oh, In the Mouth of Madness
Yeah.
is one of my favorite underappreciated horror movies.
One of the more recent films I've talked about is one of my more favorite films the last several years is Hunt for the Wilder People by Taika Waititi, and he is incredible in it as a leading man.
And he has done all sorts of stuff too, like he's played Merlin, and he's done so much stuff.
Hunt for October.
Yeah.
He plays Damien in one of the Omen movies. Mm-hmm. He was up for James Bond.
Was he really?
And when Timothy Dalton got it, he was up for it. All right, I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit.
I don't know. I would have bought him as Bond.
Well, they didn't either. So. Well, there's an audition video of him out there somewhere as James Bond. Okay.
He was in Escape Plan, freaking Dwayne Nevy's favorite movie.
So, this little moment here at the end where, you have one velociraptor in front, one in the side, and he said you got to watch for the one coming at you from the other direction. And initially in the script, I think a piece of bone was supposed to fall down from the ceiling and stab the velociraptor and kill it, which is kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
And Spielberg, I think, thought of this idea of the T-Rex coming in at the last minute and
actually saving the day.
Saving the day.
The young lady was in Tremors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she quit acting. It looks like in 2013. She was in a movie called Battle Dogs.
Oh wow.
And then just kind of disappeared.
She had a little cameo in the second film, I think. I like this, the falling banner when dinosaurs roll the earth.
Another iconic shot.
It is iconic.
Got a Jeep with poop all over it.
Yeah, we've talked about this in previous episodes, but I think this 1993 really goes to prove what an incredible director Spielberg is to give Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year, to make those films back to back. I can't think of any director who has that kind of range, and to make two successful films like that. You know, this is the most financially successful film of all time at the time. And then look at Schindler's List; it's probably one of the best films of all time.
Yeah.
It may not be quite box office hit, but it, you know.
Well, I mean, he went from a mega box office dinosaur movie to a movie about
The Holocaust,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Holocaust.
it's sad. But apparently
that's some range.
he was in
And won Oscars for both.
and won Oscar. Yeah, he was in post production on Jurassic Park, and while he was in production on Schindler's List, so he'd have to stop directing. You know, people getting gassed in chambers, and then going to another meeting where he's looking at visual effects shots for dinosaurs and making decisions about that.
Dinosaurs eating people.
That's an incredible range for a filmmaker. So yeah, that is Jurassic Park.
93?
93, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to see this in theaters because
I am too.
opening weekend, I went to the movie theaters. But you know what I saw? Super Mario Brothers.
Mario!
Bad decision.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad decision.
Now that might be one of the worst films of all time.
I wish Zach had this at the drive-in.
Yeah.
I wish I'd been
Just
able to
a
go
couple
see
weeks
it.
ago.
Yeah. We went
Yeah.
to see it later on last night.
One we've actually done on the show.
Yes. Yes.
First time the
least-
president called in.
At least downloaded.
Probably.
Yeah.
First time that Donald called us. Well, that is Jurassic Park. Sammy, you have anything to add?
Dinosaurs rule.
Dinosaurs rule the earth now.
Yeah.
Go check out Battle of Big Rock on YouTube.
I'll have to
It's
look
really
at that.
cool. It came out like last year. Yeah, September last year. So I'm guessing it was part of, I don't know, I think directed by Colin Trevorrow. So yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
I'll have to check that
pretty
out.
neat. Sammy, where can people find you?
You can right now. You can find me trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to make money to keep any of my businesses open. I'm working on a street corner, selling my body for nothing
He's a cheat.
try to earn any money whatsoever. Other than that, you can find me on all the social media because I have my phone on the street corner at Sammie Castle. Check out if you release this today, tomorrow's the last day of Backwoods Bubba's Indiegogo page. We've done really well with that, and I'm tickled. So we're gonna make a Bubba feature.
Yeah.
Sammy's one eye makes numerous, and big body makes numerous appearances. I really can't talk. If you get a chance to see Kill Giggles, I think it's finally getting its world premiere next weekend or 1st of September.
Oh, where at?
Genre Blast.
Oh, cool.
And then 2 weekends after that, it's getting its Carolina premiere at a drive-in in Salisbury. And then the week after that, it may or may not be at Wreak Havoc.
In September.
Yep, in September. So it's Kill Giggles, which I have a pretty classic, very short but classic moment in.
Yeah.
Very
Certainly the highlight of the film for me.
watching me die.
Not the first time, not the last.
No.
Won't be the last, I'm sure.
It used to be everybody was trying to figure out ways to kill me. So
And
I'm
now
kind of glad it's off of that now.
And now it's ways Sammie can kill others.
Yeah, it's again.
Usually quietly.
There's a comic book. There's a comic book by shoot, I can't remember who wrote it now. But it's called Kill or Be Killed, and that's the story of my movie career. Somebody's trying to kill me, or I'm killing other people.
That's funny. You can find us on Instagram, Wreak Havoc Productions. I'm on Twitter at Hank vs. the Undead. You can find everything we're up to at WreakHavocProductions.com. We're all over social media, so make sure you follow us. Follow us through the Wreak Havoc Film Buffs Facebook page to find other episodes. And yeah, we're out there. Send us emails. Tell us what you think. Go to.
Meanwhile, everything else I'm involved in has been delayed to 2021.
Yeah. Well, we might have another short film for you to star in coming out very shortly. I'll let you decide if you want to talk about that or when. But
there's not a lot to talk about. We always try to have something new for the film festival, and we're still Otto is still on the festival circuit. For what it is anymore. So we're trying to get. Dan and Jeff and I fleshed out a character, and Dan wrote a script for it, and we've got a fun little short.
It's the exact opposite of the silent killer.
Yes, it is.
That's the point.
Yes, it is.
Sammie was playing too many silent killers. We decided to
Which is something he's not.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So.
Well, email us, freakhavocproductions@gmail.com. Get in touch with us, and we'll see you guys next time with another film. I don't know what it will be, but I don't know. Maybe when dinosaurs rule the earth, you'll get another episode.